Are you struggling to take your shop to that next level? Do you feel like you're endlessly searching Google for answers to questions about selling on Etsy? Well, stick around, because in this episode, we're talking to Jenny from Fuzzy and Birch. She covers some struggles Etsy sellers are facing and talks about how her course has helped 1/6 of her students make the move to full-time Etsy seller. What is up? Welcome to the Jam. I am Gordon from Marmalade.
I'm Richie from Marmalade.
And we have a very special guest with us today. We have Jenny Waldrop from Fuzzy and Birch Please joining us again. She's been with us before and she's back. It's been a while. Thanks so much for joining us again, Jenny.
Hi guys, I'm so happy to be here.
We've got some fun stuff to talk about. You've got a course coming up, right, Jenny? And so we wanted to kind of talk about what that is and your platforms that you've got going on, how they can help out Etsy sellers and online sellers in general. But before we get into things too much, it's been a while since we've chatted. Why don't you give us kind of an overview of how you got started and how you're in the space that you're in now?
Sure. So I was trapped in your classic horrible job. I was working remotely for Silicon Valley, being what I would maybe phrase a slightly underpaid woman in a very technical field filled with men and very demanding hours, bosses that don't really know what they're doing, but will tell you what to do anyway. No shade on Silicon Valley. I worked with some of the smartest, most amazing people in my life, but my day-to-day experience, unfortunately, was not super that. I started selling on Etsy just to kind of get that extra money. I was thinking, $2,000-$3,000 would change my life. Maybe in a year I'll be able to make that, and then I can walk from this job for a couple months, figure my life out. Well, 6 months later, I was beating my monthly income from that same job, and no one was more surprised than me. I hadn't known what I was doing when I started. The only experience that I had had working at my job was SEO related experience. I had no design experience. I'm not a graphic designer. I never designed a product in my life. And here I was selling products, designing products, being termed a professional artist, which was laughable. I failed art in high school. So I kind of made the decision at that point, you know what, I think it's time to leave this job and to try and figure this out for myself and to learn more of these things that I don't have time to do now that I think would be so much better. And that Etsy shop exploded. It turned into multiple other shops. There were Amazon shops, not on the high street shops, all kinds of things that funded me never having to work for somebody else again. And then about a year in, I noticed everyone was asking me, like, how did you do this? I'd really like to try it. And that's when I started writing the blog. And the blog was so fun. I got to share my experiences. I got to talk to other people who had the same problems I did. I had never had that before because everybody was like, whoa, you can work on the internet at this point. So it was crazy to be able to exchange stories and talk with other people and tell people what had happened to me and be able to say, hey, I did this and it worked and I did it again and it worked again. So try it and let's go through it. I feel that this was unbelievable, the experience that I had, and I wish more people could have it, and I want to help them do that.
Nice. Yeah, and I think the last time we talked to you, you were kind of just transitioning into that sort of coaching space, coming from that seller space before that, and also in the middle of making a move to England in the same time.
Oh, yeah. I was real green. I'm sure I'll say that if I come on again in another 5 years. I'll be like, oh, that's silly business owner. That's how you feel, right?
Always. Yeah. I'm not sure that ever goes away.
No. But yeah, I can't believe, to be honest, like for people out there, how bold I was at that time to even reach out and ask to be on the podcast. Now, in retrospect, I'm like, what did I have going for me that could have gotten me on that podcast? I'm so thankful you guys let me on that podcast. But now in retrospect, I'm like, man, I was brave. And I think that is something I hope other people take away. Like, do things that you don't think are going to work out. Because it really helped my business to be on the podcast. And I really appreciated it.
That's awesome. We loved having you on it.
Yeah. It was like 2 hours long. I can't believe it.
It's probably still one of our longest to date. There's a great lesson in what you said, though, is push your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're probably capable of more than you're comfortable with.
For For sure. And I find that the more I push myself out of my comfort zone, the bigger things become for me in the best possible way. Sometimes it's overwhelming because you're not ready. But I don't know if you're ever ready. I wasn't ready for my business to do as well as it did at any point. At any point. Even when I built it up to do better, I still wasn't ready for it to do better. So from that perspective, it kind of makes sense to just take your brain out of the equation and be like, hey, let's just try one thing that I'm really uncomfortable with. I try to do it once a month because that's about what I can handle. But, it's fun. And some of them fail, and that's okay. But that was one that really helped me to get going and helped me to get in touch with more of the Etsy community. And I am forever grateful, and it was really fun. Very embarrassing to listen to, but very fun.
I don't like listening to myself either. Don't worry.
So tell us about Fuzzy and Birch and your new blog that you have out now, Birch Please, and what people can expect to find there.
So Fuzzy and Birch was originally the name of my Etsy shop. Obviously, I trademarked it, so I used it for the blog. That was originally where everything was stored. All of my programs, all of our free resources, all of our blog stuff. And I wanted to put everything in a place where people could find it a little easier. It's basically a blog that is all of our Etsy content in one place. And you can figure out what you need by topic. So, for example, if you're looking for tools, that's one of our most popular things. If you're looking for trends, if you just want to work on SEO or you just want to work on getting more sales, those are all topics that you can dive into. And so I kind of wanted to create, I guess, almost a media channel where everything was stored and easy to sort through. And there's mostly free stuff. I think 85% of the stuff is completely free. No email address, no nothing. And then there's some stuff you can get for free when you put in your email address, like totally free courses that take you step by step through how to accomplish. And then there's some paid content too for people who are ready to kind of move up and accomplish very specific things in a very specific way.
I want to take a moment to thank you for tuning in to the Jam by Marmalade. Marmalade helps guide you to keywords that real Etsy shoppers are using, so you can get more sales doing what you love. Check out Marmalade in the link in the description or at marmalead.com.
Speaking of launching things, you've also got a course coming soon. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that is?
Sure, yeah. Our Power Seller program is actually happening on Monday, March 22nd. This is the program I'm really excited about. As an Etsy seller who was doing really well, I kind of couldn't find anything for me out there. When we were selling very, very actively, I was just sort of like, all these groups are people who are asking questions, things that they can Google. Where is the stuff for me? Somebody who is really trying to grow in a big way. Like, I want this to be my only job. I want it to be huge. I want it to explode. Not everybody wants that, and that's totally cool. But for the people who do, there wasn't a lot out there. So we talked to some of our top sellers, and we said, what would you like? What isn't out there for you? What are you missing day to day? And we realized a lot of what they wanted actually works out to just be weekly coaching. And we put them into little groups of 4 to 5 where they're kind of matched with people like them. The shops might not be the same, but the level and sort of what they're trying to achieve is very similar. So they kind of wind up making really close business friends, which is so hard to do. I don't know. For me, it's like if I don't attend multiple conferences a year, it's not going to happen. And there aren't a lot of Etsy conferences out there, so it's pretty hard when you're an Etsy seller. But this program has been absolutely amazing. We have produced, I think we had 30 people in the last round, and 5 have already gone on to quit their job, and it has been violent. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's really exciting. They're getting weekly feedback from a coach. They actually have a little text group, so when they have problems, sometimes you have a problem at midnight, and sometimes you're just freaking out because it's hard to do this. There's no magic button you can push. We have sellers who have their kids at home. They're teaching their kids school. Their partner is going to work all day. What are they supposed to do? How are they supposed to run an Etsy shop? We have people who are having those moments, still just trying to figure it out and adjust as things continue to change. And those are the sort of problems that we're helping people to surmount, in addition to problems like, well, how do I double or triple my sales? Not get like $500 more a month. How do I get like 2,000, 5,000, $10,000 more a month? What am I not doing? What am I missing? Or what am I blocked on? Interestingly, usually people are blocked. They usually have everything they need to do it. And that's the crazy part to me. It's like when you already have everything you need to do what you want, but you're blocking yourself, like how do you even get unblocked? It's so hard to do that for yourself. And that's a lot of what this program really winds up doing for most sellers, is figuring out what those blocks are, removing them, and helping that person create what they wanted to all along.
That's really cool. Like you said, like problems even. I mean, how many times has there been a problem in your head that seems like a huge problem, but as soon as you tell someone about it, it's almost like you want to stop midway and be like, wow, okay, now I'm saying that's kind of silly. I guess I don't have the problem I thought I did. And it's just, and that's even just getting it out. But then once you talk to other people and get some, back and forth, I mean, unblocks you, makes you feel like your problems aren't as big as you thought they were. That's powerful stuff.
So many other sellers can be really closed off. And it's like, I understand, because as a business owner, you have to protect yourself. But at the same time, sometimes you just want to talk to somebody. And this is one of the reasons why we often match people up with slightly different sellers than them, especially if they request it. Because it's like, well, we don't need you giving away things that you feel are trade secrets. But we do think that other Etsy sellers can help you to sort through this, because day to day, their job is similar to yours.
Yes.
So I think it's so valuable. I can't tell you how much my business grew when I actually started talking to other people and stopped feeling obligated to do it all myself. So if you pay for a year of the coaching, which is intense, and we love a year's worth of coaching because, man, are we seeing big changes in just short periods, we include a year of Marmalead completely free. And we're doing that because, for me, my first 500 sales came exclusively from Marmalead. Like, I didn't do anything else. I didn't know how to market. I didn't even know how to take good pictures. Like, it was rough. But my first 500 sales came from Marmalead. And at the time, I was an SEO expert in my industry. And even then, I knew you don't just come up with words. You use a tool. Something else needs to do that work for you. You need data. And that's why I include Marmalead, because so many of these sellers use it in so many ingenious ways and teach each other to use it in so many ingenious ways in terms of coming up with very specific products to sell, very trending products to sell. There's the example of the Keynote product, which is something I explain to my sellers as the one product in your shop that's so popular, combines trends usually, that it drives traffic to the whole rest of your shop. We see this phenomenon all the time. It will elevate a shop so quickly. So we often encourage our Power Seller members to create these keystone items, and Marmalead makes that process take. So instead of doing, hours of research, searching Amazon, searching Pinterest, searching Google, and amalgamating all of that, you can do it with Marmalead really, really quickly. And that's why we wanted to include a year's worth of Marmalead, because there's so much you can do with it. And as you learn how to sort of manipulate your store in new ways over the course of Power Seller coaching, Marmalead is just the perfect tool to make that happen faster. We do this thing that we call light and polite seller stalking in our group, which is kind of like when you go down the rabbit hole of all the links somebody has on their Etsy page and see what you can find. And it's light and polite because I won't go into personal accounts. I am only looking at business accounts. And I do this with my sellers sometimes because they'll be like, this person is making 3 times as many sales as me, and we are very, very comparable. And I don't understand what they're doing that I'm not. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with the product or the SEO. When you go down that rabbit hole, we have a podcast coming out where I actually go down the rabbit hole with somebody. And we found out that this person was showing people how to make her product on TikTok. And her TikTok had exploded. And we were like, she never would have figured that out just from looking at an Etsy page. She just would have thought that she wasn't doing enough. And that's what she was beating herself up. And it's like, well, no, this person's making a video every day. You have 3 kids. Do you want to make a video every day? And she's like, no. And I was like, well, you need to innovate something different.
Do your kids want to make a video every day for you?
Yeah, get your kids on TikTok playing with your Etsy product.
There you
magic.
go.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much for joining us again today. As always, it's awesome to talk with you. If you guys haven't checked out Jenny's stuff yet, check out Birch, please. Check out her podcast she has going on. Check out her course that's coming out. Fantastic content from you, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you. So thanks for joining us again.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I am so excited to be honored to know you guys, and I really appreciate everything you've done with your program. It is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
We will see everyone else next time on The Jam.